Good morning, I'm meteorologist Jeff Gerber. It's a Monday morning and it looks like we'll see some more rain and thunderstorms across southeast Texas today. Looks like right now about a 60% coverage. Been pretty quiet this morning down towards Port Arthur. Been getting some rain for this morning, so there already has been some rain being noticed across the area. Matter of fact, the lakes area had a little bit of rain early this morning, but that quickly died down actually before 7 o'clock this morning, before the sun really came up. But if you have a question, you can text us at 409-749-9302. You have a question about the weather for this week, maybe this weekend or something like that. You can text us on our phone at 409-749-9302. Don't call, but text, and we'll try to get to that question maybe before the end of this stream, or try to get to that question sometime today if we get a chance. We're always checking that phone for questions, and hopefully we can answer that for you. All right, let's take a look at the rest of the day forecast. Looks like we're going to be seeing temperatures trying to get up into the 80s for today, and we'll go a good 60% chance of some showers and thunderstorms. That's going to be mainly coming up here towards the lunch hour and then going through the early afternoon. By late in the afternoon, our rain chances come down, and by 6 o'clock, just a slim chance of maybe a couple isolated showers left as we drop out of the 80s and eventually into the 70s as we head towards 10 o'clock for this evening. It should be pretty quiet overnight, and then tomorrow we'll see a couple of showers, but our rain chances drop, and we'll talk more about that when we look at our 7-day forecast here in about say 11-12 minutes. Usually these streams go about 15 minutes long, so we take a real good look at the weather on these streams. We do it every day at 10 o'clock. We go from about 10 to 10:15, and we just kind of go through all the graphics pretty slowly. That way you can kind of see what's going on, as opposed to a regular weathercast where we usually get about 2.5 minutes, 3 minutes to present the weather to you. So we'll take a nice slow look at what's going on. Allergy report not looking really bad for today. Mold is a little high. That's understandable with all the wet weather we've had, but nothing to talk about. Tree and grass and weed is a little bit on the low side at about a 6 there, so really not looking bad on the allergy report. As far as skies, started off with some sunshine this morning, still seeing some sunshine over towards Lake Charles, but clouds are starting to move in, especially mid-county up towards Beaumont here, up in the lakes area. You're looking at some sunshine there, but clouds are starting to move in. We're starting to see some rain, like I said, down towards the coast. This is our Roofing 911 live sky camera towards Lake Charles. You can see Port of Lake Charles there in the foreground, and the city of Lake Charles is off there into the distance as we'll go mostly cloudy there. Of course, we've got our Gator cam down in Finette and seeing some sunshine down there. A few gator heads sticking up out of the water. You don't really see the rest of them, but they have their little heads sticking up out of the water. Had a few views this morning down towards Gator Country where they're out sunning themselves a little bit for this morning. Notice the water's calm, so hadn't seen any rain down there as of yet. But it's probably headed that way a little bit later on this morning into this afternoon, as we're expecting a pretty good coverage of some scattered showers and thunderstorms. This is one of those cameras you can pull up at 12newsnow.com. Go to Sky Cams, and you can pull up the Gator cam and just watch it if you want to at your desk there at work. You notice clouds are starting to build into orange. Here's the Horseman's Western Store camera in orange, and you can see some of those darker clouds. Matter of fact, if you look just to the right of your screen there, you can see it looks like some showers starting to push in towards the Sabine River on our Roofing 911 live Skycam network. Showing lower 80s there in orange, humidity at 78% with a west wind at about 7 miles per hour. Wouldn't be surprised if you guys see some rain over there in orange fairly quickly as those showers and thunderstorms kind of working their way up the Sabine River past Sabine Lake. Now we've been getting rain in Port Arthur, still looking like maybe a little bit of rain there, or maybe it's just stopped, but it's pretty damp there. You can see the cloudy skies. Definitely can see the parking lot there is wet from the rain that we had just a little bit ago. It was raining pretty hard just a little bit ago here in Port Arthur. This camera brought to you by Market Basket as we look at the intercoastal waterway over there in the Port Arthur area, but not looking too bad right now as opposed to what we saw earlier. We had some pretty heavy rain coming down. Gosh, in just the last 30 minutes or so, we had some pretty heavy rain in Port Arthur. We'll go one more camera. There we go, up towards the lakes area. Kind of go to the other extreme where we have just partly cloudy skies up in Jasper. This camera brought you by Provalis, and you folks don't have to worry about any rain Looks like through this morning, maybe this afternoon you'll catch some showers and thunderstorms, but this morning looks pretty dry. If you have any activities you want to get done, maybe run to the grocery store or something like that, have some outdoor stuff you need to get done this morning, I think you'll be fine. It's going to be this afternoon you might catch some showers and thunderstorms around the Jasper area up into the lakes. Temperatures right now, 81 Port Arthur, 84 Beaumont, 86 in Orange, 80 Silsbee, 80 Woodville, 82 Jasper, and then 78 in Kirbyville. It's 82 in Lake Charles, 85 in Houston, Huntsville currently about 82, as well as Conroe. So we're getting temperatures already showing some middle 80s some places. Now, I don't think we're going to get much warmer than this. We might see a few upper 80s. It just all depends on how quickly the rain moves in. Here is radar right now, and you can see, like I said, the lakes area very quiet. Hardin County very quiet, but Jefferson, Orange County, we're seeing some pretty heavy rain. But really, the bulk of the rain is over towards Cameron Parish. We'll take a closer look at what's going on out there. And it looks like some of this rain is nudged its way up to Bridge City. Also seeing some pretty heavy rainfall over towards Mid-County, Nederland, Port Nature's Groves, seeing some rainfall there. And then that rain across Sabine Lake down into Sabine Pass, it looks like, for this morning. The western half of Jefferson County has been pretty quiet. It's back over here towards the eastern half that we've been seeing a lot of the activity starting to develop. And then, like I said, Cameron Parish, seeing quite a bit of rain there as well. And you can see some lightning out there, so there's been a few thunderstorms. And as I mentioned, this stuff is kind of creeping up towards the Orange area, Bridge City, getting some rain here pretty quickly if you haven't already started to see some of the rain. And this will eventually start to work its way as we head towards say lunch hour into this afternoon, kind of work its way northward and spread out across the area a little bit more. A good 60% chance there of some showers and thunderstorms. And then if you look over towards Louisiana, had quite a bit of coverage over there towards central Louisiana, south central Louisiana. Looks like it's shrinking in size now, but some pretty heavy rains over in that part of Louisiana for this morning. All right, here's Futurecast by, say, 1 o'clock. Still showing some activity mainly around the triangle here. As we get into the afternoon, it does show maybe some of those showers and thunderstorms starting to creep their way northward up towards the lakes, and maybe even a few flare-ups again around the triangle as we head towards the early evening. There'll be scattered stuff mainly out there for this afternoon, so keep the umbrella handy. Some of you might be able to get home from work okay without having to deal with rain, while others might have to deal with some heavy downpours, depending on how everything sets up. Like I said, it's going to be scattered through the day. It's not going to be widespread heavy rainfall across the entire area like we were seeing last week, where some days we were picking up 3-4 inches of rain. As we head towards this evening, things will quiet down by 10 o'clock. As we head through the overnight, we'll see numbers dropping back down into the middle 70s. By tomorrow morning, should be quiet. If we see anything overnight, maybe an isolated shower here or there, that's about it. And then as we get into tomorrow, looking at about a 30% coverage. Maybe a couple of showers during the afternoon. I think Futurecast might be overdoing it just a little bit for tomorrow. We'll go 30%. We might up that a little bit, maybe to 40%, but at least it's a lot less than what we were seeing last week when we had those 80, 90, 100% coverage days where it rained for half the day out there and we got a lot of rainfall. Take a look at what's going on around the rest of the state, and really, except for coastal Texas, most of the state is pretty dry out there for this morning. You can see central, west Texas, hill country, just seeing sunny skies for this morning, and they'll probably be looking at some very hot temperatures later on today, well up into the 90s. Now down towards Corpus Christi, there is some showers down there, and then of course across southeast Texas, and then you just get into Louisiana along the coast. That's where we're seeing the flare up of some showers and thunderstorms. Looks like Houston is pretty quiet right now, so if you're just leaving Beaumont here in the next half an hour or so, expecting to get over towards Houston, I think most of the ride will be dry. I don't think you have too many problems. Looks like most of this rain is going to stay over towards Sabine Lake over the next few hours or so. And then if you're going the other direction, heading over towards Lake Charles, you're going to be running into some rain. It looks like if you're heading that way here fairly shortly. Across the country, not a whole lot going on. There have been some activity up through parts of the central plain or northern plains up into Minnesota. Been seeing some rain and thunderstorms up there this morning. Looks like maybe some strong thunderstorms in northern Iowa for this morning, heading over into Wisconsin. A few showers, parts of southern Illinois. East Coast looks pretty quiet, not much going on there. And then as you head out west, gosh, from the Rocky Mountain states to the west coast, not much going on, nothing on radar. Big area of just nothing but dry weather, including parts of central and west Texas. So western half of the U.S. bone dry as we look to central and eastern sections, where that's where we've been seeing some scattered showers. Nothing too heavy as far as the rain, but there have been some pockets of some rain and thunderstorms out there. All right, coastal marine forecast for today. You can see the winds along the coast, probably with some of that rain, is really kicking up the winds. These are actual current conditions out at Texas Point. Winds at 21 with a wind gust almost near 30 miles an hour. Water temperature out there in the Gulf at about 83. Look for a light chop on the inland lakes and bays today. Southwesterly winds in general along the coast, about 10 knots with seas from about 2 to 3 feet. Only one high tide, that was 9:06, and only one low tide, and that was right after midnight, 12:49. Our sunset tonight is at 8:19. So forecast for today, we'll go with temperatures in the middle 80s, and a lot of folks going to see maybe 86, 87 today. We're pretty close to that right now. 60% coverage of scattered showers and thunderstorms with south winds at about 5 to 10 miles per hour. As we head towards tonight, we're expecting to see those middle to lower 70s, kind of like what we saw this morning. Just a small chance of maybe a few showers, and that's towards morning, about 20% throughout the area, with south winds continuing between about 5 and 10. As we take a look at our 7-day forecast, you notice rain chances dropping for the next couple of days. We'll go about 30%, a little bit drier. We won't see as much as far as a disturbance in the atmosphere to really kick off a lot of showers. So we'll go about 30% for Tuesday, Wednesday. That should up our temperatures a little bit into the upper 80s. And then we do see a weak trough coming by to our north. That gives us about a 40% chance of rain on Thursday, Friday. So at that time, we could see a little bit more in the way of some active weather again, with temperatures getting close to about 90. And then the weekend, not looking bad. We'll see a 20% chance of a couple of showers here and there. I don't think we're going to see widespread rainfall at all for the weekend. It'll be isolated showers at best, so not looking too bad there. Not bad at all for the weekend. It's going to be hot, though. Temperature's going to be there into the lower 90s, about 91 on Saturday and then 92 on Sunday. All right, let's go back real quick while we got another minute or so left to the radar. And like I said, most of the area is pretty quiet with the exception of what's going on down towards the coast. We'll zoom out just a little bit. We can get all the rain in there. And you can see that rain is just now coming up and reaching towards the orange area. Also, Mid-County been getting some rain. Looks like Port Arthur's clearing out of some of those showers real quick. So things are looking a little bit better for Port Arthur, but gosh, that rain is pretty heavy heading up into Bridge City right now. And like I said, some of those showers working their way up towards orange. Let me check real quick and see if we have any messages. No messages on the phone, so no questions out there. But yeah, you can see where very heavy rain. Port Neches down towards, looks like clearing out of Port Arthur a little bit, but this stuff is drifting north, kind of northeast, so that's going to be heading up towards Bridge City there. I'm sure it's already seeing some rain in Bridge City and then heading up into the orange area. We'll put this into motion. You can kind of see that general motion coming in off the Gulf of Mexico and kind of drifting its way off towards the north and east with some of those thunderstorms. No severe weather being reported, not expecting any severe weather for today, but we are looking at some activity as far as some showers and thunderstorms. This is one batch. Could see a couple more batches of showers and thunderstorms start to activate later on this afternoon, especially when we get those temperatures into the middle to upper 80s. That's going to wrap it up for us today. Like I said, we do these streams every day right around about 10 o'clock. We'll look at weather for about 15 minutes or so.